we've all talked about kind of having to be the best at something. And it's because we're always teetering. Like, I think, I don't know, I know it's not in our heads because it's definitely out there, but like, where we're always teetering on the edge of not being good enough to be in the room. And it's not, we're great. Like, it's not us, but the perception of us is that we're always teetering on the edge. Like one mistake, just like Kim, you were talking about in school, you made a mistake and they literally wrote you off. They were like, well, she made a 16-year-old mistake, so you know what happens after that. Whereas like I went to school with some white kids that were just bad. Like bad. And no one ever was like, these kids are at risk. They were like, we're going to take your car keys away and you lock the liquor cabinet. Like, but we're like, it's prison. Like, immediately you head to prison, guys, because you're being 16. So, but I think it carries on through like jobs and stuff. How do you manage that pressure? Or do you just, like, how do you shut that down? Because you have to shut that down in order to keep moving forward. But how do you get past it in order to do that? Like, what are your coping mechanisms? Do you talk to yourself? Do you, like, well, I mean, like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kim.
No, go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I guess for coping mechanisms, I would say just, apparel, definitely looking good, walking in that office, looking spiffy, that always helps a woman, great hair, great, makeup and nails and bright colors and the handbag, and also just like adding to your skill set. I try to really, help women and make sure that you are adding and you're learning so many different things so that when you're in these rooms with these men or whoever it may be, that you stand out, and you're actually like being someone who can be remembered. I was going to also mention that, also in the networking game, like I've noticed as, like you said, being a woman in the room full of men, and you stand out and there's that one girl over there. And she's like, hey, oh my God, there's another female here. You're super like charged up, right? And it's just about like, us women just, just sometimes just get out there, and just, get into these places where women are normally not there, and just be a voice and show up as your best self. Ladies, don't forget, show up as your best self. It never fails.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I was just about to say that, like, Nikai is right. And see, I'm kind of happy it happened to me when it did, because all it did was just create. I took the label and then made it my own. And so really what they did was create a monster. So, I went from, like, that's why I'm like, it happened at the right time when I got to see that as a young person and sort of see what you said, Kara, like just the stark difference. I was a varsity cheerleader. I was, so like me getting kicked out wasn't like this long road to do, to going down a black hole. I grew up playing the piano. I was the accompanist to the choir. I was the keyboardist to the jazz band. Mm-hmm. So this was not a girl just walking around, this is somebody who got into an altercation, and then first altercation, and then it's just like, boom, bye, see you later, kind of thing. And so when you start to look at the statistics around it, and you start to look at the prison to pipeline, that's a real situation, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that almost became me. Like I almost got caught right up in there, just that easy. And how many of our cousins and brothers and sisters have just gotten caught right up in there? Because you go from one mistake, you may make one more, then it's just like, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for this person. And so the pressure that you talk about I feel that pressure a lot, just as an entrepreneur on its own, right? You feel a lot of pressure. But what I've decided is joy is my greatest act of resistance. You're going to get joy all day long. You're going to get, like, I have a Friday night live show I do on Facebook, and it is a party, and I'm going out to sell more makeup I sell a lot of stuff on there, but I have a party. I play music. I don't care what kind of week I had. I don't care who done stuck to me the wrong way. I'm gonna get on there on Friday night and have a good time because it's my resistance, right? It's my joy. And to be honest, as a people, and especially as a Black woman, when I still have joy in the face of all this, I'm actually looking at them saying, I don't care. And having a good old time. You know what I mean? Like, that's my pressure release. My pressure release is this Black ain't gonna crack. Who said something? This Black ain't gonna crack. I'm gonna have this joy, right? And we're gonna keep it going because our ancestors did. Right. My grandparents did, you know, and that's my thing. So really, they created a monster. I went chasing. You know, I took the at risk and started taking risks, and I'm a very risky woman.
I love that you took the at risk and started taking risks. That's amazing.
Beautiful. I was going to say, one of the things that I do is I whenever I see adversity coming, or I find myself in the midst of adversity, and it's not always so easy, I have to remind myself, but I've recorded myself saying, when things are coming against you, it's because something amazing is on its way. And adversity and people, you know, we call them the haters, they don't show up if you're not doing anything. If you're sitting back on your couch, eating ice cream and watching TV, and you're not making moves and you're not improving your life and making a difference in the world, no one's going to notice you. No one's going to bother you. But the minute you start making a difference, standing up for yourself, stepping out and saying, I want to do something different. You know, Carrie, you talked about, they said it's going to take, what it was like 30 different pages of things that had to be completed. The minute you sit up and you say, well, you know what? That's okay. Bring the first page. That's when adversity will show up. And I'm going to tell you, and I think I'm probably older than everyone on this panel, that it has never failed that the bigger the adversity, the bigger the blessing on the other side of it. At the end of my emails, I always say that you got to go the extra mile. You go just one more step, even when you feel like you can't. I mean, we cry all the time, right? We cry when people come against us, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I would say cry through it. Right? Those tears, Kim talked about it, those tears can propel you forward to get through whatever's coming at you. But whenever you're faced with adversity, and if you don't believe me, prove me wrong. Go back and look at some adversity you've ever experienced and look at what came out of it. Like, if you were able to push through that adversity and now you look at yourself from the other side, you'd be like, wow, I'll use Kim. They came after her, right? They told her she wasn't going to amount to anything. Look at where she is now. So I think adversity, haters, obstacles, they are all green lights that you're on the path to whatever you're supposed to be doing. And you just got to keep fighting through it.